Tomorrow, on 18th February at 3:30 p.m., our Finance Minister, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, will give the Budget 2019 speech. This year, will we have any more ang paos? Any more tax hikes? What will our government talk about? We looked at the last decade's worth of speeches to find out. These were the 50 most commonly used words in budget speeches in the last decade. It's interesting to note that support was the most common word mentioned, followed by tax, which was mentioned second most. Let's break all this information down. The word support has consistently appeared since 2010, with significant spikes in 2015 and 2016. This seems to correspond to an increase in government social expenditure throughout the years. The more they mention support, the more they spend on it in the next year. But what does our government support? Let's take a look at education. The number of times education is mentioned in the budget speech seems to reflect MOE's expenditure on education. For healthcare, MOH spending seems to lag behind the number of mentions of healthcare by a few years. For support to innovation in startups, our government provides funds. Sure enough, the word innovation has been mentioned more frequently in recent years, along with greater spending on innovation grants. Having discussed support, let's move on to the second most commonly used word, taxes. When budget speeches bring up taxes, they tend to mention subsidies less, and vice versa. For example, in 2014, mentions of taxes were low, while there were many mentions of subsidies. This could have been due to more extensive measures employed by the government to provide support to the pioneer generation as Singapore approached its SG50 year. Despite all the mention about taxes and costs, budget speeches tend to use positive words apart from just support. Some examples include the words help, new, and provide. Another form of analysis we performed was to quantify each speech's tone. Here, a value of 1 means that the speech was very positive, while -1 would mean that it was very negative. We saw that most speeches scored positively, meaning that in general, they were more hopeful. Interestingly, the one exception we've discovered was the 2009 budget speech that occurred after the 2008 financial crisis. In this one case, the speech was analysed to express slightly negative tones. There was also a period of slower GDP in 2015. Perhaps this is what caused slightly lower sentiment scores in 2016. So, what are our projections for Budget 2019? These are the top words that have consistently appeared over the years and that we expect to see. And lastly, these are some words that have been trending in recent years that we expect to be more popular in 2019's budget.